Good morning, y'all. I figured I would start on my videos here at Swift. So, yeah. As y'all know from my other videos, I had left RTI for personal reasons. I had turned in the truck. I am now at Swift Transportation. I have gotten a new truck. Literally a brand spanking new truck. They are, at least when I came on, they are currently doing a promotion because they have too many Kenworths. From when I was out there on the Phoenix yard, they have a lot of Volvos too, but the Volvos, for some reason, they have them all marked as company trucks. So, but they have a lot of Kenworths. They have quite a few Petes. And they offered me the ability to put $500 down and I could get a brand spanking new truck. Now, obviously, the truck has a lot more miles on it now because I'm on my first trip. But when I got the truck, there was literally 35 miles on it. So, basically, brand spanking new. It was one of the ones that got towed, not the one that was driving the tow trucks. So, I'm pretty excited. I don't have the truck set up yet, but I guess I'll show you guys a little bit of my setup. Of course, I have my sleeping bag. Don't mind the breakfast pizza. Like I said, I don't have anything set up, but this is what inside of a 2026 Freightliner, Kenworth, I'd never buy a Freightliner, looks like. Spot for your microwave, storage up top. The top bunk, it folds up. Yes, it's a little dirty, so don't mind the smudges. There is room underneath. The bed comes up, plenty of room down there, and of course the normal storage there. This fridge is very interesting. The fridge comes out like this instead of like the all the other trucks I've been in. But decent sized freezer, decent sized fridge. They do use Geotab just like RTI, so that was pretty cool. I already knew how to do that, obviously. That little green light on the dash right there tells me that the fridge is on. I have a switch to be able to turn on and off the fridge. This covers your auto start. Yes, big name company, they still restrict you idling the truck even though you're a lease purchase. Well, I was told once you own the truck, then you can remove that restriction. But plenty of storage everywhere. Kenworth went above and beyond, I think, putting a lot of storage, a lot of stuff. Of course, the CB spot. So, excuse me, it's an all digital dash as well, because if anyone is asking why that whole thing is blank, it is a all digital dash. So there is no gauges to it at all, which does have me a little concerned, not gonna lie, because what happens if the screen goes down, as we all know, seeing how technology is not all that very reliable. What if the screen goes down and then I'm screwed because I don't have any gauges, don't know how fast I'm going, none of that. So it's a little worrisome, but I will have to show you guys what the truck looks like after I have everything in it, and whatnot. So, but that's a little tour of the truck for right now. I don't know. I'm happy and excited about the truck. I'm excited about the possibility of making quite a bit of good money. They do have a load board. They don't put a lot of loads on the load board that I've noticed. So my driver manager, where I am based out of, has told me that I shouldn't be completely reliant on the load board. This opportunity does get me home a lot more, which I'm excited about. It does give me 100% control over my truck and everything. They give you, with my ability to get a brand new truck, I was able to choose from 3 cents all the way up to 20 cents on my maintenance program of what I wanted to put aside. With a brand new truck, you get that option. I decided to do the average 10 cents. I'll just save that up. The cool thing about here at Swift is that I can access that maintenance fund anytime I want. So if I want to go home for an entire week, I can use that maintenance fund to pay my truck note and everything else. So I figured I'd just build that maintenance fund up, and then eventually, seeing out it's a brand new truck, fingers crossed, nothing goes wrong with it anytime soon. Build that maintenance fund up, get a nice little cushion there. At least, I don't know, probably 10, 12 grand, I'm hoping, in there. And then I will possibly start pulling out less, or I may just leave it at 10. I don't know. Haven't quite decided yet. So, the lease, the actual signing of the lease was interesting. They have 57 pages with RTI. I think I only had 27, 28 to get the gist without doing a whole video on just the lease. I might just do that depending on if that's what you guys want, and comparing the two leases between RTI and Swift. But in Swift's lease, they very much make it very aware that you are not a employee of Swift Transportation. You are a independent contractor. You are separate from Swift. They say it multiple times inside that contract. So, yeah. But like I said, 57 pages worth. It was interesting. They do a little bit of things differently, obviously, than RTI does. Don't get me wrong. When I leased with Night Transportation, I loved the lease. I also leased with them during the lockdown COVID days, so I made a shit ton of money. Hopefully I can do the same thing here at Swift. But Swift's lease is basically, they copied and pasted a lot of what Night Transportation did, which is understandable seeing how they are sister companies. So, but they do make it very aware, because I kept bringing up my experience at Night. Quite a few of the Swift employees were like, hey, you're not at Night, you're at Swift. We are two separate companies. So they're a little touchy on that. So I guess I will have to watch my P's and Q's. Excuse me. Ugh, coffee. So, other than the truck, other than the lease, reading the long-ass lease, my onboarding here at Swift for being a lease purchase, or as they call it, as an owner op, because they don't call it lease purchase, they call it owner op division. Even though I know damn well I don't own the truck yet, so I am not technically an owner op. I am a glorified, as most people say, a glorified company driver. I don't see myself as a glorified company driver. I see myself as a businessman who is trying to buy my truck. But you do have those negative people out there that are like, oh, you're not an owner op. You're a glorified company driver. Okay, whatever. I'll take the title. But my process of getting on here was a little stressful. It still is stressful. Unfortunately, mine got drug out a little bit for issues. Went and did my deal. They make you, before you can even sign a lease, all that stuff, they make you go and do a DOT physical and a drug screen. And yes, they do a hair follicle. So Anybody who wants to know that question, here you are. Yes, they do a hair follicle test. And in my opinion, I'm sorry if this makes people upset. If you're so worried about a hair follicle test, then you probably should not be driving a truck. Because the hair follicle goes back from 30 days to say if you've done any drugs. If you were doing any drugs in the last 30 days, last 60 days, last whatever, I don't really care. In my personal opinion, this is no opinion of anybody else or company-wide or anything else. This is my personal opinion. You should not be driving a truck if you were so worried about a hair follicle test, about them doing that. If you were doing drugs while you're out here on the road, you were making the road unsafe for me, my family, and everybody else around us. Bottom line. So, I guess before I work myself up, that's all I will go over on that part. Yes, they do a hair follicle. Yes, they will do a urine analysis. And you will be required to do a DOT physical at their approved doctor. Do not try to go and get go to your own doctor and do your own DOT physical. They will force you to redo it again with their approved doctor. Does not matter. They do not. Swift does not play around with that. You have to go to their doctor. My experience with my physical and my DOT physical and my drug screening was amazing. And my doctor, the doctor that they sent me to, I had no issues with. She just asked me a few questions, did the normal testing that DOT requires, and I was approved. So, waited a few days, got my drug test back. Obviously, seeing how I don't do any of that crap, came back clean. They said, all right, cool, we're good. Let's get you going. Originally, I wanted an older international because I wanted to go from an international to an international. They didn't have any. Flat out told them that I was not going to get a Freightliner. There's no way in hell I'm going to buy a Freightliner. I will never own a Freightliner, in my personal opinion. They are way too overproduced. There's no personality about them. They have way too many issues. I'm good. No. I think my biggest gripe is just they're way too overproduced and they're everywhere. They're everywhere on the road. Like, no, I want to be different. I want to be not going with the flow like everybody else. And that may cost me. Who knows? I don't know. But, yeah. So that way, he couldn't find a Freightliner. He told me there was no way. At first, I was going to go on their MRP program. I will do a video later on when it comes to the difference between a brand new truck and MRP. Or if you want to, you can go on to here on YouTube, and Swift Transportation themselves do whole videos about talking about their MRP program and so on and so forth. So there's also another guy trucking with Fly Rabbit. I can't remember his name. I do follow him. I do watch his videos. I should know his name. He's one of the other content creators for Swift. He is also a lease purchaser or owner op. He actually owns his own truck. Currently, he's in a rental truck. But he works out there on the East Coast. I'm currently on the West. I'm going to be out here. So, he's a good guy. Go check him out too. Trucking with Fly Rabbit. He covers over Swift Transportation stuff too. So, but either way, had no go on that. Could not find an international. Could not find anything. He did find me a much older KW, a 2020. Well, not much older, but the 2023 KW. He was like, well, your payment would be like $480 a week, but you're also going to have like 15 cents all the way up to 20 to start out, 15 cents to 20 cents a mile for the the maintenance, for pulling the maintenance. And I was like, well, I don't really like that. I don't like the fact, especially seeing I'm coming in and I don't have any money sitting in the maintenance, and it is an older truck, that it's going to have the possibility that there's going to be crap that goes wrong with it right away. And don't get me wrong, with a brand new truck, you have the possibility of having stuff go wrong with it right away as well. But with this particular truck, it was over 480,000 miles on it. It was a 1-year lease. At the end of the 1-year lease, 1 year or 2 year lease, I can't remember, I think it was 2 years, $11,000 buyout. But that high of miles, and I had no money and no cushion to be able to protect myself if the truck decided to break down. I chose not to go with that, and I asked for a newer one. Well, they found a newer one. He found a newer one out in Atlanta, Georgia. Was 2025, $680 a week, but it had a little over 100,000 miles on it and whatnot. I was like, okay, cool, let's reserve that one. It's newer, so on and so forth. Well, then I started thinking about it because I was watching YouTube videos and whatnot, sitting there going and remembering what he told me it'd be about 4 to 5 year lease on that 2025. And I was sitting there going, why would I want to get, again, a used truck, a newer used truck, have a 4 to 5 year lease when I could just get a brand spanking new one and have a 4 to 5 year lease, and I'm the only one who's ever driven the truck. So I called out and reached out to him the next day. He goes, oh yeah, well, you're in luck. We have a special $500 down. We can get you a truck. Now there is a difference when it comes to the Kenworth. They have the stock truck that is like would have been a normal Swift company truck. That is what I ended up getting because it was the lesser payment. It doesn't have the specialty paint. It doesn't have the leather seats. It doesn't have the, right here, as you can see, there's just a little hatch here. It doesn't have the little window and the whole door thing, like the owner op spec Kenworth. They wanted $720 or $740 a week for that truck. Yes, it's still cheaper than what I was paying on that International at RTI. But I was like, why would I pay that much more money for just a specialty, for a different color paint and leather seats? I didn't realize it had the whole window and door thing here until I actually showed up to get this truck, where there was a beautiful black Kenworth right behind me. Gorgeous truck that was owner op spec. So this truck, though, I am paying $680 a week. I would now, don't get me wrong, that $500 down is only covering some of the actual down payment. Now I have $100 deduction coming out every week for the until I reach $2,200 in there. So technically, the down payment on this truck is $2,700. But up front, all I had to do is put $500 down. So now that down payment is on all the trucks. It doesn't matter. I think correct me if I am wrong. I may be wrong. I do believe that all their trucks have a $27,000 down payment, but they don't require you to put it all up front. Unless you're getting a brand new truck, then they do require you to at least put something down. Like I did, I had to put $500. So, but yeah. So I chose my truck, got that all done, and then was told there is no orientation for owner ops. When you come on with Swift Transportation, there is no orientation at all. Which I don't get. I don't understand at all. I understand that you guys are making it very clear that we are independent contractors away from the company, but you're requiring us to use your company's software, your company's stuff, everything else. Swift Transportation should be having a orientation at least one day orientation, going over everything that is required, going over how to fill out paperwork, going over how to log into all these systems, because you can, like, they give you videos to watch, and that is your orientation. Now, don't get me wrong, when I drove for JB Hunt doesn't do orientation either. They give you a whole shit ton of videos, and I watched the videos, and then I started. Here, they gave me a few videos, told me how to log into the tablet that's up there, how to use. Thankfully, I already knew how to use Geotab, because RTI used Geotab as their ELD, so I knew how to do that. They have their own little app whole system to do loads, but the video doesn't go over what all the macros do, how to ask for a load, how to ask for detention, any of that. The video doesn't cover any of that at all. So I've had to slowly learn. Some of it is the same as when I was working with night transportation, but a lot of it is different, and I had to learn how to to learn the different things. Like, I didn't know that here at Swift I could reach out to a planner directly myself. I don't have to go through my driver manager, and I can deal with planners directly myself, on top of having the load board. Pretty cool. Would have been nice to have a day of orientation to learn all this, instead of being told by my home terminal that's out there in Idaho, going, oh, well, this is how you do it. You need to reach out to them personally yourself. We don't do any of that for you. My driver manager so far, she's pretty good, I guess, from meeting her, but she doesn't really do anything for me. I've noticed she does, at least so far. I mean, she helped change my my PTA, and helped me because I did not put in my loaded call when I was at the shipper for this load that I'm currently on. I tried to do it later like I'm used to, and it did not like that. So I've learned here at Swift I have to do the loaded calls and empty calls on property, on site. So, but yeah, a day of orientation would have been nice. It's a little stressful not being given a walkthrough. I think that's one of the biggest stresses and the biggest gripes I have right now with Swift, is that there was no orientation, no walkthrough, no nothing. So I think the only thing I was a little frustrated about was when I showed up there in Phoenix at the owner op division. They had no clue who the F I was. There was one lady in the back. When she realized that I was there, she knew who I was, because my recruiter, Addison, out of Salt Lake City, reached out to her. Addison's a great guy, not gonna lie. But I think he's a little overwhelmed. They don't have a lot of owner op recruiters. I mean, I was in Phoenix, Arizona, and they had the owner op recruiter office completely empty. So that tells you everything right there. So I think Addison is probably covering the entire West Coast, which can be overwhelming for one guy. So, but yeah, that's my spiel. So I'm not rambling on. I'm sure I'll come up with other videos and talk about all kinds of other things throughout the time. But my experience coming on for onboarding with Swift, from a 1 to 10, I'd give it a 6 or 7. It was a little stressful, not too bad. I am excited though to be here. I'm excited to try to be making some good money. After all my expenses are done, I should be hopefully making some good money. I'll probably do a video once I actually get my first settlement, and we'll go over all my expenses. I'm sure this first week on my paycheck, though, is going to be really crappy. So, yeah. That's my experience coming on over the Swift. I'm excited about it. I hope that you all will stick around and watch my experience here. And if this video helps, you decide to come on or doesn't, I hope you can like, share, whatever, subscribe. I'd love to have you guys follow me through my journey here at Swift. So, but with that being said, so I don't continue rambling on, I'm gonna get off of here, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
No! No, I'm not feeling all right. I don't understand one damn thing that's going on around here and why nobody can give me a simple, straight answer.